What is up, guys? Welcome back to Frugal BC, our live stream where we're looking at Algorand, NEAR, Hedera, other crypto news from around the space, all things that we can fit into the show that we think are interesting. I'm Frugal BC, and we've got a number of things to look at today. Very interesting week. Obviously, started with bated breath on Monday. Had no idea what that was going to look like with banks failing and the Fed stepping in and bailing them out. And some of those banks were crypto banks. In fact, the most friendly banks toward crypto have just been taken over. And so it's been an interesting week. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff going on with Algorand price. We're going to look at, of course, the other crypto news as well. Look at what's been going on with USDC. We're going to look at the ASA charts as we always do. And a little drama in the Bahamas when it comes to the Algorand Foundation. In regards to Coop Daniels, we're going to talk about his ouster as community champion of Algorand. I think that was really interesting. Probably a bad move on their part, but we'll talk more about that. The MyAlgo exploits and the hacks, not done yet, unfortunately. They're still going on a little bit. We're going to dig into that. And some influencers sued because they were sponsored by FTX. I've got some really interesting thoughts. It's actually a really crazy lawsuit. There's some nonsense going on there, including one influencer who didn't even get sponsored by FTX. So that's very interesting. We're talking about my new experiment a little bit. I did a whole video on this earlier in the week, and so we can talk about that. I think it's interesting. I'm really excited about it because I think it's going to shed some light on some stuff that I'm doing. And then we're going to talk about what the heck is Void Network or VOI Network, however you say that. Because it took me some time to figure it out because, well, we'll get into that. It's going to spark a broader discussion about communication and crypto. So we're going to talk about that. Let's see how everyone is doing today. Let's see, we got some in chat. What is up every day? Algonaut, welcome to the channel. How's it going, Christian? Good to see you. All right, welcome, folks. And interesting week. So on the channel news, I got merch now. This has actually been available for a couple of weeks, but I finally got my test sample in the mail, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. There's some things I wish I was able to do, like put it kind of lower and on the side, but kind of going with that minty theme. That's sort of my branding here for the Frugal BC channel. So if you want one of these hats, you can find that in the store down below, as well as beanies and stickers and all that fun stuff. Otherwise, then I can't wait to talk about the new experiment because it's going to be detailed on NifGen. So you're going to have to be a NifGen subscriber to view the experiment, and I'll talk more about that when we get to it. But NifGen's a great platform that is hosting video creators in the Algorand space, and the whole idea is to create like a Patreon, except the patrons only have to pay one fee to get access to everybody. I think that's great, and it's only $9, so it's pretty affordable, and you can get access to to Coop Daniels, I think, to all the Next Block folks, to Adam Bergman. A bunch of us are posting in there. There's some other folks in there too, and you'll see them in there. Oh, IRL, they're in there as well, and you get all these extra videos for a pretty low price. So I think it's great. I got a link down in my description. When you click on it, just make sure you refresh a couple times to make sure it works. And that's about that. But why don't we get into the show? Let's talk about the Algorand price. So you can see the chart behind me here. We are sitting right around 22 cents. We actually touched 23 cents before we started falling down a little bit. So, and Algorand, this is interesting. This is why I wanted to talk about this. Algorand has been kind of flirting with that 40 number. It actually fell to 41 at some point. People are really concerned about that particular thing. Hey, look at this. Christian says he has a surprise in regards to NifGen. He says, update coming on Monday. Well, I look forward to seeing that. But meanwhile, let me just pull this up. Cryptocurrency charts. Yeah, so just to start off with, it was a huge week for Bitcoin. We're up 33%, almost 34% on the week. Pretty much started taking off right after all this stuff happened with the banks, and just kind of hasn't stopped. Same with Ethereum. It was actually over 1,800 before, so it's dropped back a little bit. And I want to talk a little bit about Tether and USDC. Oh, this is interesting too, because USDC had actually hit that dollar peg when I checked earlier. It looks like it's still pretty close. So it's just a little bit off. But look at the market caps. So, or this is actually volume. Excuse me. Yeah, market cap USDC is about right around half, maybe a little over half of what Tether's market cap is right now. And you look at the volume too. Right now, US Tether is doing 10 times the volume of USDC. That's crazy. But yeah, interesting which coin. So like XRP is barely moved. It's like at 4%. And there's a lot of variation here. We got Cardano at like 13, Polygon at almost 15. Solana does pretty well. Some interesting stuff going on at Binance USD. There's some people that think Binance might be insolvent. I believe Coinbase actually suspended Binance USD trading, if I recall. Polkadot at almost 19%. Shiba Inu at 8. It's kind of funny because it's really all over the place. I mean, look at Litecoin, 24% on the week. Hardly anybody matching Bitcoin. Yeah, dies pretty close to that dollar peg. It's still a little bit off. Grab Bitcoin, of course, it's the same, around the 30-some percent. Chainlink 15. This Unisat Leo is down. It typically goes the opposite direction of the other coins, which is really interesting. Ethereum Classic is even up 25%. I'm just kind of looking through for Filecoin, Aptos really up there. Little Dow is doing pretty well. Yeah, HBAR not bad, sitting at 33rd in market cap, about 64, about 6.4 cents thereabouts, pretty close, up 12%. So not a huge gain, but compared to some of the other ones, but not bad. NEAR is around 21%. Sitting at 34, and you notice how far down we got to go. Yeah, Algorand all the way down to 40. Yeah, this Stacks one really flew up the charts. It's at 90. It's up 96% on the week. That's a big mover. Algorand up 17%, so not bad. Not bad. It's around 22 cents. I mean, we've seen a lot worse from Algorand, so it's nice to see some good movement from them. It's been kind of battling back and forth with Quant. You can see how close their market caps are. It's pretty tight in here, so one of these could come in and easily bump Algorand off the 40. But also a little better performance for Algorand could put it back into the top, 35, 36, 37. It's not that far off, It's all pretty tight in here, so then we start dropping off below around the 1 million mark, which is interesting. I just kind of want to see, look at the graph going up 40-some percent. I want to see who the biggest movers were. Now we got to go up. Kind of wish it would just start over when I do that, but let's see. Yeah, so plenty of ones that are really, really taken off this week. Conflux at 175%. That's crazy. Followed by Mask Network. These are ones I haven't heard of. There's the stacks I was talking about. Immutable did really well. Immutable X, a video game one platform. Singularity doing well. Render, Phantom, 50%. Like Mina, Mina is one of my 8 coins. Might have just gave away some alpha because I don't think that was in my first video. That was the one that's going to be in part 2 of my 8 coins to buy. Yeah, 45% though. That's pretty good. I got a nice little bag of that I'm growing. Graph, Woo Network, Synthetics, and then down to Bitcoin. Very interesting. Well, why don't we take a look? I'm just going to stay right here, and we'll just go to the Algorand charts. I do think it's really interesting that it's fallen so much. I was just thinking about when I first started covering Algorand that it tended to be in the high 20s. It was around 26, 27. I think it got up even into like 23, 24 at one point. It's kind of sad to see it fall so far. But yeah, DeFi token doing really, really well. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that a lot of people are flying to the DeFi wallet thanks to the MyAlgo hacks. Can't blame them, really. Chip's not so good on the week. Obulus doing pretty well, as is Vestige. Bank down a little bit. Yieldy up a little bit. Amazing this project still sticks around. All I ever see is problems with the ELD platform for anyone who's still using it. So it's very surprising to me, but there it is. And we're seeing some newcomers on this one. Indoor air quality is now up there. Votecoin is up there. I don't know much about that. Still in that top 10. Dharma Network, we've heard of that one, but kind of surprising that one's moved a lot. And then Planet. And remember, this is by volume, not market cap. Market cap, it's usually oh, interesting. XUSD is the highest by market cap at almost, what was it, 18 billion? It's pretty impressive. Or is that trillion? Good grief. Doesn't seem right. Green Earth, 920. Yeah, Asia Reserve Currency used to be the one up there. Now there's a few other ones. Flux, X. I don't know what the Green Earth thing is. First Crypto. And then Opulus. Opulus has done really well to get that high of a market cap. Pretty interesting. We don't have any like real giant movers, which is sometimes good because those tend to be sort of short lived. But biggest gainers, DeFi is on that list. Doesn't surprise me. Like I said, a lot of people moving to that wallet. Let's see what people got to say. All right. Well, guys, let's move on to our first story. Coop Daniels, person in charge of Recoup, has been ousted as a community champion, apparently because he said some stuff that appears to be critical of the foundation. Let's take a look at his tweet. I was a little surprised to see this. Now, I met Coop Daniels at Decipher, and it seemed like the foundation was pretty big on him. He's the only YouTuber that seemed to really be recognized by. So he says, "No surprise, I'm no longer an Algorand community champion." He laughs. "I will continue to be fearless in calling it out, folks. Maybe even more so," which I think they should. He kind of gives some. I have to scroll down a little bit, but he kind of gives some hints as to why. Let's see. Some more. It says community champions are not allowed an opinion or to question, call out, or seek truth. I must be missing something because that's exactly what a community champion should do, not just act as a fluffer. They'd argue it should be done internally. I'd argue it would fall on deaf ears. In the end, I have to say all the things, or what am I doing here? I really appreciate you more. Yeah, I agree. Boring Bon Jovi. I love that name, by the way. Says you're a genuine searcher for the truth. Yep. Just trying to find. He actually gave some insight. But here he says, I've been a pretty strong supporter of the foundation throughout this hack because that is what I believe to be true. This is separate. I think they are painfully out of touch and vulnerable to whatever the hell is going on right now. And I just swear there was something like right. Well, let me. I think it might be in his tweets elsewhere. Maybe he deleted it. Okay, we don't need that. Okay, yeah, here's to be perfectly transparent about yesterday's attack tweet. If you have been following my DGPY group coverage, you know I see red flags. Well, I haven't. I don't know what that is. Yesterday, I heard a strong rumor that. Oh yeah, this is the thing. Yesterday, I heard a strong rumor that Borderless intends to support VOI. Then within 15 minutes, I see they are supporting Moonbeam. The words exit liquidity and holy blank, this is obvious, rang in my ears, and I determined that the foundation is woefully out of touch and I should say it out loud. Since then, Borderless has denied any plans to support VOI. And really, who cares if a VC supports another chain? Was I wrong to tweet it? Maybe. Why do I care so much? Good question. It's an oddly strange, strong thing inside me that craves transparency and truth. Yeah. Well, I share that, I do. That's what we do on this channel from day one. And you know what? We have not taken a single cent. Have not taken a single cent from the foundation, nor will I ever take a single cent from the foundation. So I'll say, yeah, Coop is on the outs with the foundation. Well, they've hated me from day one, because day one I've been telling you how it is. I mean, that's just what I'm gonna do. I'm not here to sugarcoat things for the foundation. And I will tell you, like, they really didn't give a lot of respect to the people covering this stuff when I was there. The only person I had a good conversation with was John Woods. That's about it. And you might notice online he's probably the best thing the Algorand Foundation has. Frankly, I mean, he's good. He's a good speaker. He's articulate. He knows the technology really well, but he also seems to actually be personable, which I like. So not a lot of tech people are able to do all of those. So it's very impressive, but also kind of wish I would pass it around a little bit. Because otherwise I felt like a lot of foundation people. Pidgey is really cool, who's the gaming guy too. Actually, I got along with him really well. But a lot of them, like, you were just kind of gum on their shoe, basically. I'll be honest. David Garcia, Pablo Yabo. Well, I don't know that. Well, thanks for pointing that out. It's David Garcia, Pablo Yabo. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's kind of weird now because we're seeing a lot of people talk about there's this kind of the negative sentiment that's going on in Algorand right now, and then people are like mad that people are being negatives, which is funny because there's a lot of negativity about the negativity. I don't think that's really going to help things, but what I think a lot of people don't understand is, like, while the tech is important, it doesn't matter to the price or adoption. People don't come to it for that. They come to it because I don't know why they come to it. It's monkey see, monkey do. It's mimetic behavior. That's how all this stuff works. So because if the tech mattered, then Solana would just have disappeared by now, and because it's garbage tech, and yet people still use it. And I hate to be the one to keep telling you people this, but it's the way it is. Now, what is Void Network? We're going to talk about that. We got that scheduled later down, so we will explain what that is for those that don't know, and we'll talk about it. And I'll be curious to hear you guys' opinion on that too. Well, all right. Further news: the MyAlgo hacks are not over, which I kind of figured they weren't, since we thought that the last time when they happened, and then they stopped for a couple weeks, and then they popped right back up again. Well, they're still going on. We're going to look at what John Mazzoni has to say about this. So let's pull that up. So John Mazzoni, now he is the founder of NFT Domains, which, if you see those .algo addresses, they're mostly his. The other service that does that, the Algorand naming service, they're basically like, doesn't work anywhere. Because I actually had one of those. I didn't know any better. I just searched for like the how to get that name, and that was the first one that came up. And these guys are the NF domains are the real deal. John Mazzoni's a great guy. He's been on the channel. He says, PSA just had 2 of my NFT accounts hit for a total of 40 algo. No NFTs were taken. Rekey everything, even tiny accounts. They're still draining. Yep. I think a few other people might have. Let's see if there's anything. Yeah, so far nobody has said that they rekeyed and still were hacked. It seems, and it's all on MyAlgo. So I did like 3 videos on this, on the hacks. If you ever had an account on MyAlgo, any account on MyAlgo, even if you later imported that account to Para. Basically, if your account ever touched MyAlgo, it's vulnerable, and you got to either rekey it, transfer everything to a brand new account that's never touched MyAlgo, or put it on a ledger. And one of the things that really frustrates me about this is everyone's like, "Oh, you should have had a ledger." Like, well, yes, that is the safest layer. I understand that, but it is supposed to be, these crypto wallets are supposed to be secure, so that isn't supposed to happen. So I don't blame users. I blame MyAlgo. They should have made a secure wallet. Still waiting for. They just posted recently that they're still looking into it. They hired a company, like a firm, to do the audits and find out what happened. They don't know what happened yet, so we're still looking into that. But it's something I'm paying attention to because it's very disturbing, and I do think this will have. I still think this will have a lasting impact on Algorand because I don't know another blockchain that had so many wallets hacked like this in this manner. It's one thing to have it happen with a protocol, but to have it happen with your actual wallet, which is supposed to be secure, it's really scary because how do we know it's not going to happen on Para, right? Like who's to say? Anyway, I just want to give an update because that stuff is still going on. Let's see. Christian says, "Is it true they were hosted at GoDaddy?" I heard that too. I don't know that for sure, but interesting that that came up. And Vince Alvarez says, "Next week, Cooper Daniels announced Void Network Community Champion." I'm like 3. We're gonna close it out. Actually, you know what? We'll just talk about Void Network. I'll just skip ahead. I can skip ahead. So I kept seeing stuff all week for Void Network, and I had no idea what it was. So I found their Twitter page, which you think would tell me, hey, we're Void Network. Here's what we do. Here's what we are. Nope. Their Twitter account basically explains nothing about them, which is crazy. So, and then even Maureen Dowd had tweeted. Is that her name, Dowd? She's Maureen Dowd Algo. She's an NFT creator. She does really cool, like one-off NFTs, like kind of like more fine art style design kind of stuff. Really cool stuff. And she tweeted, she's like, "Is it wrong that I have no idea?" Or she goes, "Am I dense, or is there just like no information about this?" And I said, "No, you're not dense. Like I even went to their Twitter page, and there's nothing explaining what it is." So I did a little digging this afternoon, and now I know. So Void Network is basically like a side chain. It's like a carbon copy of the Algorand blockchain, and the idea behind it is that Void is sort of possibly a way of starting over, like taking the chain and starting it from ground zero. It's not live yet. I know there's some people asking about airdrops and stuff. I imagine that they'll probably do some kind of airdrop. So I don't know if you can get on it really early. It might be something fun to check out. Put a small investment in. Again, something that you're willing to lose, because something like that, when you can invest really, really early on, sometimes really high upside, low downside. But if you had done that with Algorand, you'd be screwed because Algorand has never hit its launch price. And I'll keep pointing that out because I think people don't understand that. Algorand launched at it basically was a botched launch. It launched at like 3 something a coin, and it's never hit $3, 3.50, 3.20, something like that. It's never hit that again. So hopefully Void can avoid those mistakes. I assume that tokenomics would be the same too. I don't know. I've never copied a blockchain or heard of someone doing that. So apparently, but you can do it. So I don't know. It'd be curious to see what they do. Well, here, Everyday Algonaut says, at Aramid, we also have sidechain running official Algorand software. Well, that's cool. Welcome to the show, by the way, if I didn't say so before. So that's Void Network. I think it's kind of interesting. I'll follow it. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what it does. I think that stuff's really, really kind of neat. Why do you need it? Well, I don't know, but we'll see. Moving on. Oh, one last thing, and this one's really big. So a number of influencers, a number of basically YouTubers. They're pretty much YouTubers from what I gathered, are being sued, and this is the same person that's suing like Tom Brady and Kevin O'Leary and those folks. This is the same person suing them. He's suing all these YouTubers because they were sponsored by FTX. So this is a really interesting case. CoffeeZilla made a video about it. Actually, got Meet Kevin to respond, and actually, as much as I love CoffeeZilla, I love the work he does. I actually think he's wrong on this one. And there's one thing that's kind of a common theme throughout his videos is that I don't think he seems to never assign any personal responsibility to the people making investments. And while I understand, if someone is actively scamming like FTX, that dude should go to jail for sure, and he will. There's so much stuff with what he's doing. They just found out he was paying himself like billions of dollars a year for his salary, like something crazy like that. I think they found out some other scam he was running on there too. It's crazy. So people like Sam Bankman-Fried, like Alex Mashinsky, who's basically running a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, these guys should go to jail. But this idea that influencers who talk about crypto, and I may have a bias because I'm an influencer that talks about crypto, I'm very, very careful about it. Like, if you guys saw the number of sponsors I say no to, it's a pretty high number. Like, I was getting them once a week for a while, and they're just like, I'm like, no, this is terrible. I don't know what this. I don't even know what your company does. I mean, a lot of them are crypto projects, and they're just stuff you've never heard of. Yeah, I want no part of it. I've had a little bit lately from actual Algorand projects, which is nice. I've actually been a little disappointed at the lack of support from Algorand for the YouTubers. Like, there's so many projects, and none of them are doing sponsorships to get their name out there with these YouTubers. I think it's a lost opportunity, in my opinion. But like I said, I'm really careful, so I can understand that side of it. But also, well, let's just look at the lawsuit. I'm blabbing here, but let's look at the lawsuit. Okay, so here's the first thing. Well, here let me scroll down to CoffeeZilla's tweet. It says, breaking: YouTubers promoting FTX are being sued in a class action lawsuit claiming $1 billion in damages. And this is great. Ben Armstrong, founder of Bitboy Crypto, says countersuit coming. The lawyers in this case can't possibly be more stupid. I've never had contact with anyone at FTX and never even had a ref link. Uh, referral link is what he means. Show me you are dumb without telling me you're dumb. Well, I think it's telling me you are dumb without telling me you're dumb, but because I'm going to roast these low IQ plebes and their lawyers. So this is really funny because clearly this is like a carbon copy lawsuit from the Tom Brady and Kevin O'Leary and all those other, Larry David, all the other people being sued, because they clearly didn't do their homework. Like, Bitboy Crypto has never, he never took a dollar from FTX, and in fact, he made a video, and CoffeeZilla pointed this out. He made a video like a few months before this all went down, saying that Sam Bankman-Fried is a fraud, and you should get your money out of FTX. So, and shout out for CoffeeZilla for pointing that out. I think that was noble. I know he doesn't like Bitboy very much, and Bitboy is kind of a controversial figure. I understand that, but I gotta say I'm on Bitboy's side with this, especially since it seems clear that they didn't think this through. Now, he can be pretty histrionic. Bitboy's claimed that his foray into the Bahamas to try to find Sam might have brought law enforcement attention on it. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I think if they were paying attention to Sam, they were paying attention before your little trip to the Bahamas. So let's be real about that. That's a little silly. But this was an interesting video by CoffeeZilla, because first he talked to an attorney, and the attorney told him that basically this case has no chance of being successful. They're even just on the general merits, like it seems pretty ridiculous, but then legally they just have no, there's really no standing to sue the people who are recommending this. Well, then he called up, honestly, it was kind of a cell phone on CoffeeZilla's part, to be honest. Then he called up Meet Kevin, and he was saying, asking Meet Kevin, well, you took money from this company, you sponsored them, are you responsible for these losses? And he said, no. Well, first off, he's like, and I can't speak for the others, but first off, I tell people to keep a pretty small percentage of your portfolio in crypto because it is risky. And it's not my fault if they don't listen to that. Like how am I responsible for them not listening? And as you know, I tell you that too. Like I crypto is a pretty small part of my portfolio. It's the most exciting part, but I have my slow, boring index funds that just slowly earn me money in the background that I don't think a lot about, that I don't even check up on half the time. I might go weeks or weeks without looking at that account. Well, pretty much when I make deposits. Otherwise, I don't pay much attention because it's not fun. It's not exciting. It's not supposed to be. And I'm a firm believer that a lot of your portfolio should be the boring stuff, the boring but effective stuff, so that you can play around with crypto. And if you lose money in crypto, because at some point you will, that's just inevitable. You're going to make a bad call. Everyone makes bad calls in crypto. We've all done it. It's not a big deal. I put money on Celsius, and that I don't know if I'm getting that back. Supposedly, eventually, we're supposed to get that back. I know some people who didn't use Earn, just use custody. They can now get some of their crypto back, but Earn people can't. And so the argument that Meet Kevin made is like, hey, you make choices. Like you can choose to listen to people you saw on the YouTube, but at the end of the day, you're the one hitting the buy button. I agree with that. Like I when I lost money on Celsius, I didn't blame a YouTuber because they talked about Celsius. I blame Alex Mashinsky for being a piece of crap. Frankly, I blame the people who are doing the scamming, but I made the choice to put it in there. And frankly, I made the choice not to take it out. When they turned off the earn function, something told me, my instincts were telling me, you should get your money back off of here. And I thought, no, because the stuff that's on there now earns, so I just won't put the new stuff on there. Well, that was a mistake. I should have listened to my instinct. My instinct told me get it off of there, and I didn't. But I agree with Meet Kevin, honestly. That's something I have a problem with CoffeeZilla is that he seems to like assign no responsibility to the people making those investments. Like, yeah, do I think Logan Paul was kind of a scumbag? Yes. But at the same time, if you're putting this much money into something, you have to be aware that really anything in crypto, it is risky, especially like a brand new project that isn't launched. Be really, really careful. And even stuff on Algorand, even these projects like any of these game projects, you got NFTs, they're selling NFTs. Think of it as something like this could be gone. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this NFT for this game. It could be useless. Don't think of it as I'm making an investment. I'm making a bet. You are making a bet on this game that this game will be successful and this NFT will be worth more in the future or will help you earn or whatever. That's the point. And I've made that mistake myself. I still have a Townstar NFT that's not doing anything, that I paid almost $300 for with all the gas fees and stuff, and it's now worth. You can buy it on OpenSea for like $15. And the game still isn't earned. I can tell you all about my problems with Townstar. In fact, I probably should give a little update on Townstar. But so I guess the point is like I just have a hard time holding people like Tom Brady or holding these YouTubers responsible, because I don't think that there was something negligent. And I think the attorney pointed this out too. It'd be different if it was like common knowledge or easily findable that FTX had some bad dealings. But like CoffeeZilla didn't make a video about FTX until after it was found out that he was doing shady stuff, right? So if he didn't know that, no one else knew it. Apparently Bitboy believed it. I don't know why. I don't know what he saw or what he heard, but he apparently believed it was a scam before it came out. So it is what it is. But it, like I said, if there was like an obvious red flag that people missed with FTX, everyone thought it was a great, solid company, and it turned out to be what it is. So sometimes you just don't know. I mean, it'd be like suing, suing one of the newspapers or Time Magazine or something when they did these glowing profiles on Bernie Madoff. Did he? What happened? He turned out to be a scam, but nobody knew it. Even the regulators didn't know it. They didn't know about FTX either. They didn't find out FTX and bust him. So if the regulators didn't know, the people who were actually charged with rooting out scams, like, I just don't see how the YouTubers could be held responsible. I mean, it sucks. It sucks for everybody, but to me, I don't see that they're being responsible. They should be suing FTX. All right, I blathered on long enough. Yeah. Oh, here. Yeah. Oh no, I crashed it again. Okay, I can't respond to the things on there, but yeah. So Christian says, I love the part on page 29 where the lawsuit states SEC stance on cryptocurrency has been clear and consistent from the beginning. Yeah. No, no, it hasn't. It absolutely hasn't. That's the whole XRP lawsuit is what that's been about. So the reason like Coinbase and Brian Armstrong has been so frustrated is because the lack of regulatory clarity. It's the reason why so many of these companies are operating overseas. That's another thing that CoffeeZilla hasn't pointed out. I've heard him talk about the overseas companies on like Joe Rogan and stuff like that, but he doesn't point out the reason they're all going overseas is because the regulatory clarity here is so terrible. Now, that being said, some of these companies probably would do that to avoid regulations as well. So I don't want to pretend like, they're all these good guys and they just go overseas because they have to. But some of them, some of them do really have to because there's just this lack of clarity. Let's see. I'm going to pull up the thing on here because my computer's doing that thing again. Just to make sure I can see your comments. Anyway. Okay. So that's that. And then I just want to talk. The last thing I want to talk about my new experiment, which is going to be on. So I made a video. I kind of explained this, but here's what I'm doing. So Thursday, I put out this tweet that said I just closed all my Algorand DeFi positions. And I got a lot of tweets going, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Well, and I explained that no, this isn't one of these I'm leaving Algorand tweets that people do every so often. And then somehow they just seem to still be on Algorand and talking about Algorand. But no, the point is, so it's my new experiment because my hypothesis I noticed that with some of these farming yields or staking, you tend to lose more. Oh, did it really stop? No, it's still going. Okay, that you tend to lose more because of the underlying value dropping than you gain from the APR. So I wanted to know how much that really happens. So I opened a position on Cometa, and I opened one on Humble, and I opened one on AlgoStake, and I opened exactly $100. And so I'm hoping that will let me track over time whether they're actually beating that $100 or I'm losing money. Am I gaining money or am I losing money? And I think the results are going to be really interesting. I'm really interested to see the results. My theory is that more often than not, you lose money on these things than you actually gain money. That's my theory. That's my hypothesis. So we're going to test the hypothesis. We tried these three. I might add some more. And now to actually get the results of the experiment, so I'm going to do quarterly updates on the YouTube channel. So you will get something on the YouTube channel if you stay patient. But if you want to get like a blow by blow, you want to see how it's doing every week. That's where NifGen comes in. And I'm putting a lot of my content on there. Other Algorand creators are as well. There's a number of creators on there, so check that out. And basically, it's one fee. It's like a Patreon for people doing Algorand content. Because let's be honest, we don't make much doing this. It's pretty hard to when you deal with these smaller chains. It's kind of hard to grow your audience, and we are growing here. We're doing pretty well, hitting almost 2,400 subscribers. Probably will hit that next week, but it can be hard to grow and to monetize. So NifGen comes along and they want to help us out, and they have an engagement. They actually give you a token for engaging too. So that's something that you get. But for $9, you can get everybody's engagement. So $8.95, you can get everybody's extra videos. So instead of like on a podcast where it's like I got to pay $5 to this guy and $7 to this guy, this one $8.95 and you're done. You pay that monthly and you can get all our extra content. And like I said, I'm going to give you weekly updates of this experiment, plus just kind of how my portfolio in crypto is doing overall. So you'll get that. You'll get that as well. Only available on NifGen. I have my link down below if you want to subscribe. Just remember to refresh it twice, refresh it 5 seconds, refresh again. And yeah, there's a lot of people on there. JT, Crypto for Change, Seawill, I think Recoup, IRL is on there. A lot of people are on there doing their thing. So Algo HQ, I think too. So make sure to check that out. And yeah, I'm really curious how that's gonna go. Let's see. Let me check the live chat. Sorry, I can't put you up on screen because it froze up again. Let's see. Jeffrey says, I've been reluctant to say this, but I swear I actually lost money staking and farming USDC and Algo on Tinyman. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know. We really don't know. And I know for a fact that I was doing the board coin staking on Yieldy once, and that one I know I lost money on. I 100% know because they tell you the value of the total value, and it dropped like a lot. And the same thing happened on Algo Stake. I actually closed out my position way down on Algo Stake, so I know it does happen. I'm just curious about how often it happens. See, Everyday says you try Votecoin with a 0.01% LP fee on Pact. Jeffrey says that said, I don't want to spread misinformation. It just seemed as though the earnings were not in my favor. Yeah, sometimes they're not. I'm not sure how I did on. Let's see, which one? The USDC one. That one, I think that one would have been the safest. But if Algo dropped a lot, I mean, look right behind me. It's dropping again. It was all the way down to 18 cents at one point. It's dropped a lot since December, since November, since Decipher it's dropped a lot. So I don't know. Yeah, no. Listen, I don't want to spread misinformation either. But this is why I'm doing the experiment, because I really want to know. I really want to point this out, and I have data to point to say, see, this is what happens. So, oops, I shouldn't turn that off. So Everyday Algonaut asks, do you calculate the value in Algo or USD? Well, I'm using US dollar as my basis, so I'm putting exactly $100 in, and so I want that's a good baseline because the price of Algo changes, the value of Algo changes. So I am calculating it in USD. And that's what makes this challenging, actually, is because there are so many variables. Like this is why I wanted to track it this way, because it's really, really hard to know sometimes, because you're dealing with two different assets in this farming pool, possibly earning a third one. But this one, everything's going to go back in. Now, my rule with this doing Humble and Cometa and Algo Stake, I'm just doing Algo Stake because that was the easiest one. But the rule is it has to be on the front page of Vestige or as close as I can get, like the next closest one down, if none of those are on there, which actually Cometa Meta is like down to third page now. That's one of the ones I think I actually lost on. So, and that one was on the top, I believe, and now it's down to I think it's on the third page of Vestige right now. And so I wanted to give it the best chance possible by doing the best ASA But that one actually ends pretty soon. So I'm going to have to find another one as high up the rankings as I can. And there's not a lot to choose from. Now on Humble, I'm using DFly, and DFly is like number one right now. So that was a good choice. That'll be the obvious choice. But yeah, we'll see how the experiment goes. And I want to run it for a while. I want to try to run it for like a whole year. And that's all my DeFi position. Jeffrey says, I'll be very interested in the results of your experiment. Yeah, me too. Everyday Algorand says, Voigtcoin does distribution of tokens using staking programs where you just have to have an LP token on your account and receive 50% APY each hour. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, but Voigtcoin can go up and down too, right? Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not wild about. I'm skeptical of all these coins and all the distribution mechanisms, and I just want to see like how they actually turn out. So when the horizon ends, I will take it out and I will stake it with something else. Trying to do it fairly regularly, where I update them. So where I what's the word? Reinvest. There's another word. Oh, I'm just drawing a blank on it. It's one of those days. All right. All right. Well, I think that's enough with. I think that's enough for today's live stream. I hope you guys are doing well out there. I'm gonna have to like refresh the page before I before close it out. But I hope you guys are doing well out there. Stay safe. Remember, get your stuff off exchanges as much as possible, and make sure you keep your keys safe. Make sure you get off of MyAlgo. Get off of MyAlgo because that's really dangerous right now. And otherwise, guys, do well out there. And thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for being on the channel. Thanks for everyone who commented. I hope you enjoyed the experiment. I hope some of you guys will go over to NifGen and follow along because it'd be cool to have an audience watch it in real time. And otherwise, that's all I got. Take care, guys, and we'll see you in the future. Come on. All right, we're going to have to do it this way.